Okie pokey weirdos, I'm Rev, and it's time to get spooky. I did my yearly spooky season shopping. I love her. She's so cute. Not $60 worth of cute, though. Got my spooky fix, and I'm gonna take you with me. Got my laptop here. Let's walk around the spirit of Halloween. On entering the store, I was super excited, but I also knew that I could easily get overstimulated, so I did not interact with any of the animatronics purposefully.
Oh. These things make noises at you.
Because I was already starting to have tremors due to my overstimulation, and I didn't want something to be super loud at me and flashing lights and affecting my tremors even more so, to the point where I wouldn't be able to hold the camera still. Firstly, because I'm already wearing it, Freddy Krueger shirt, follow your dreams. I usually get t-shirts at the thrift stores because these kind of haunted, spooky t-shirts end up at the thrift stores for the Halloween section so often for all of those lazy people who don't actually want to wear costumes. However, I did see this iconic print. And yes, if you get absolute maniacal laughter from me, I'm probably going to purchase it. The Nightmare Before Christmas section is always a weak point for me, and I have to try my hardest not to buy everything. There was the one costume that I thought, hey, I could go ahead and make that. I really do want to eventually do some sort of feminine Oogie Boogie costume. I did really love these Oogie Boogie beanies, but I did not grab them for a reason we'll talk about in a minute. There were the Corpse Bride items, and I almost got the jewelry here, but I made sure to look around the rest of the store and double check that there weren't things that I wanted more so. Usually if I pick up the item, the question for me is, am I going to wear it in my daily life as well as the costume? If the answer is yes, then I'll get it. The Ghostbusters section was a little small, and I do eventually want to cosplay Spangler and then have a Slimer costume underneath. And I actually have a dance routine for that costume idea as well, but I haven't gotten a Spangler costume yet because I haven't found one that's the quality I want within a price range I'm willing to spend, which makes it more likely that I'm going to be making the costume myself. The Beetlejuice section was also surprisingly small, and y'all can check out my Beetlejuice videos in the cards above. The Wednesday section was also pretty small too. I was tempted to get the cello bag, but do I really need more bags? No. Do I want them? Sure. Then the excitement came when I found...
Ooh, hell yeah.
Freddy Krueger. Dude is my favorite, and I still need to make a video on why he is my favorite.
Let's have the queen over here.
To go with the shirt, Deluxe Claws. Apparently this glove is deluxe. I went with the more expensive version so that I could have a little bit higher quality. I know I'll still have to edit it and alter it some because it's way too big for my little hands, but I've been wanting to be Freddy Krueger for years and I kept waiting to find it at the thrift store. Was not happening. Also, funny story with this hand, I have another character that I want to cosplay who has a hand like this, and I was just going to alter it slightly to dress as him. However, I could not cosplay him because I could not find his frickin' wig. It had been missing for almost a year. 2 days after I bought this claw hand, I found his partially styled wig. And now I can cosplay both Freddy and Jack the Ripper. Yay! Funny how things like that work out. As soon as I get the claw hand, the wig's like, oh, I can come out now.
Joker and Wolverine, what are we doing? Batman. I am confusion.
The superhero and villain section confused me a little. Especially when DC and Marvel were all integrated together.
Oh, I love it. It's adorable.
I did not actually buy the magnifying glass, hoping that I can find it secondhand or for cheaper. I feel like I could even just make my own for quite a bit cheaper. I do eventually want to cosplay the whole Scooby Gang and do a compilation of videos where I can have all the characters interact. Also, my mom tried for years to get me to be Velma or Daphne for Halloween when I was little, so that will bring her joy for me to cosplay both of them. A costume that I would also eventually like to do. Celia is adorable. I had to get away from the Stitch stuff quickly, otherwise I would buy everything. And then we moved on to the Wicked section. What the hell is this crap? I've seen so many people hand make these dresses and make them look amazing, and then you get this really cheap plasticky crap that I hate. All the SpongeBob meme stuff, iconic. And I thought that SpongeBob dress was actually kind of cute. Here's why I hadn't been getting any of the beanies that I actually enjoyed. This white one of Doodle Bob would get so grungy and grimy so quickly, and it would make me very sad to spend so much money on a light colored beanie that wouldn't last very long with me. So even though I really like the images that are on these beanies at the store, I'm not buying them because when you got a $30 beanie, I'd want it to last. Thing 1 and thing 2, my mom has been trying to get my brother and me to do that for years. We still haven't. The Bluey section, and then Scooby-Doo needed a boob. I was not expecting to see a Cars section. The Lightning McQueen stuff was actually kind of cute. Was tempted to get the baseball cap, but do I need more baseball caps? No! Do I want one? Yes. Then I got to the Star Wars section.
Tiniest Star Wars section. What the heck? There are more minions than Star Wars.
A true plague on our people. To have more minions than Star Wars? What has this world come to? Then I realized the goggles in the Jurassic Park section look just like a set of minion goggles. What is happening? Are we cursed? And what is with the bubblegum pop music blasting in the store? It's supposed to be spooky season songs. Occasionally we got a Monster Mash or a Thriller while I was there, but it was so much Katy Perry, Ariana Grande, the Taylor Swift. Why? It's not spooky! I just could not. Let's do some China Anne McClain at least, because she's done some spooky stuff. Fiona is another character my mom had wanted me to do for Halloween one year, and I didn't do it because I didn't want to do face paint. And she was very sad, because she wanted me to do Princess Fiona rather than Ogre Fiona, and I still wasn't willing to do it because the dress she wanted me to wear was ungodly itchy. So if I do a Fiona now, I would definitely be able to make one that's not so uncomfortable. Out of all the really small sections, Top Gun was not something I was expecting. Barney terrifies me, has for years, get away. The cop stuff and these handcuffs are so much more me. If it's bedazzled, sure, I'll take it. Hippie items. I have grabbed quite a few things from here, but a lot of them end up being sewing patches. I get a number of my sewing patches from Spirit of Halloween because they have quite a few cool things that you're not going to easily find at a reasonable price online, and then you also get the automatic gratification of having it in your hand when you're at the store. And my excitement when I finally hit the Greek mythology section. I have been wanting to cosplay various characters from Epic, but I hadn't gotten around to it yet because I didn't have all the supplies, and I hadn't gotten to a point where I was willing to spend the amount of money that so many of the prop makers want for that kind of stuff, and a number of things I didn't feel like making myself because I felt like I should be able to easily buy it and not take hours upon hours making it myself. So I raided that section and then had to carefully go through everything and go, am I really gonna use this? Probably not. It needs to go back. And I hated putting so much of the Greek mythology stuff back, but it did keep me within budget. Metal leaf crown. It's nice that this is actually metal and it'll last me a little while. For various Greek gods and goddesses and various characters from Epic.
Halloween is the one night a year when a girl can dress like a total slut and no other girls can say anything about it.
The section that is Halloween gives you an excuse to be sexy. I don't like it. Especially when they make all the packaging pink and overly sexist. And I do want to say there's nothing wrong with being sexy for Halloween, but I hate how commercialized it is now. Often throwing this concept upon really young children who should not be sexualized yet, including the sexy schoolgirl section. I hate this. You are fetishizing underage children. Stop. It's disgusting. Sexy cowgirl section. Why? Who am I to talk? I got angel dust. Ah, the 80s pieces. I've gotten a lot of items from this section as well, more so from Party City, but still within the same general vein of items. I really just enjoy getting statement earrings from Spirit of Halloween. That's my big thing when I go. So I got the 80s cassette tape earrings here. My mom said she might have to borrow them. You'd be surprised how useful these kind of gloves are in closet cosplays. I did consider getting these chains, but I know that I can get chains for cheaper at my secondhand craft store and they'll be real metal, so I passed on the cheap crappy ones. The pirate section, please save me! I did find some really chunky, heavy metal rings. They're actually really heavy, except they're absolutely massive, so I'm gonna have to put some foam in there to pad them out for myself. I thought these rings would work well for... I have a Captain Jack Sparrow cosplay that needs new rings because all of his have broken. But also I'm going to be making an Elvis costume really soon, and those will be helpful for that as well. And a number of these items I already own because I've had about 4 years of scouring Spirit of Halloween with a quite large budget that I saved up over the past year so that I could get all these items. Love that.
Nice.
I was very tempted to grab one of the Halloween buckets and not even buy it, just use it to carry my things. Day of the Dead, vampire, and witches. I could live in this area. Oh my goodness. This is my aesthetic. The Alice in Wonderland dress I was tempted to get because I am obsessed with Alice in Wonderland. However, 60 plus something dollars, not willing. I could make my own. This Frankie Stein kind of inspired costume I really liked, but then I looked at the price. I could easily make something like this. And the clown section! Also my aesthetic. Usually my friends will call my aesthetic Monster High but extra spooky, and yeah, they're about right. Play that funky music, white boy. Why is that playing in a Halloween store? Someone stop me from buying all of the clown stuff. I want all of it, and I will wear it, and I will use it even in my daily life. Just to freak people out. For anyone who's curious, I really see clowns as more of gargoyles for me. They look spooky and scary, but they're actually protectors. It's because I grew up around rodeos, and rodeo clowns were actually very helpful, and I got along with a number of them. They were pretty sweet, so I don't have that level of fearfulness for clowns because I knew a lot of nice clowns when I was little. The one size fits most is a lie! Ah, the furry animal section. This is more me. I actually own a lot of these ears and tails already, or had a variation that I made myself or already found at the thrift store, so I didn't get any of them. But what is with the crap fursuit heads? I guess it's a good gateway into learning if you can handle having a fursuit head on your head, but I know a lot of people wear these just for regular fursuits, and not okay. There are makers who work their asses off, and we need to support them. The wig section I was not worried about because I have plenty of wigs at home, and I get a lot of mine from the thrift stores or really cheap online. Probably about half the price of these things. The makeup and fake blood section, don't usually get anything from here as well because the thrift stores have unopened packages of those all the time. Oh, my foot's asleep. My foot's asleep. My first item properly for the Elvis costume. I went ahead and bought this at Spirit of Halloween, even though it was a little expensive, and you'll see why at the thrift stores in a little bit. And I thought this would be perfect. I am going to put some more colorful rhinestones on there because I want to do the King of Spades suit, which is all rainbow stones. This needs a little more color. Oh my god, they don't want you to get into this thing. Use your muscles. Here we go.
Give me my microphone.
Oh, it's still sticky from them sticking the rhinestones on. Oh my god.
Why is it so sticky? I don't like it. No.
I might be putting some transparent contact paper on this. It's so sticky. I don't want to touch it. Okay, here you go. You can look at that. Oh, it stinks too. Good gravy. That's not staying in my room. Goodbye. That adhesive is nasty. I'm gonna stick this thing outside because it reeks. It needs to air out. Oh, look! It picked up all the dog hair as I threw it on the floor because it's so freaking sticky. Ew. Why? Not cool. I rinsed it off with cold water as well. That seemed to help quite a bit. And these pom-pom headbands are exactly why I make sure I check all the stores and all the pricings before I grab items at Spirit of Halloween. Because these pom-poms are way too expensive. Someone stopped me from grabbing all the witch hats. My legs are asleep. Then there's all the props and anatomically incorrect skellies, which we love. And the big bucket of weapons. I always laugh when I see this now because my bestie who went to Spirit of Halloween with me a couple years ago, when we got in there and found that bucket, they went, oh yeah, they know to hide these in the back of the store, because when I was like 9, I would grab every single one and destroy the store. And I can't unsee that now. The Mario costumes. Why is this section so tiny? The kids part for Star Wars. Again, tiny! The Transformers, even smaller. I cannot. I love Transformers. What are you doing? We got all the kids' costumes. I do look through this because I am only 5 feet tall, so I can sometimes fit into these things. I also find earrings or necklaces that fit me anyway, or you can easily add a little bit of chain to them to make them fit you. The Descendants section. This is what changed my friend's opinion on my aesthetic, because once Descendants became a thing, their thought of my aesthetic went from Monster High to more so Descendants, because Descendants deals with a lot more leather, which is a lot more in my realm.
The tiny red jacket, it's so cute. I do love those. Maybe not for $12.
I did not expect to see a Pomni costume in the store. Digital Circus has been busting their butt. They are getting pretty good and popular here. More clown stuff. This girly is a lot closer to my aesthetic. Lots of black, but we got some rainbow in there. The Halloween season is also where I get a lot of my tights, but normally not from Spirit of Halloween. It's at the thrift stores where there are so many packages of these kind of tights unopened on the racks. Then you can get them for less than half of what they are at Spirit of Halloween. I was also sad that the Miraculous Ladybug section was so tiny. Why are all the good shows the smaller sections?
Oh, he's a slap bracelet. Cool. Oh, she's pretty.
What is with the terribly photoshopped baby costumes? Can't you get a picture with a real baby in a costume? I know my mom's got a lot of pictures of me in my baby costumes. I know it's difficult, not impossible. The doggy costumes, I can't. Then I found the blankies and plushies. I need to walk away. I need to walk away. I'm gonna get every single one if I don't. This is where I got to a point where I heard a small child screaming and crying. And then I figured out why. This horrible mother was forcing her 2 to 3-year-old daughter to stand in front of every single animatronic, and mom would set it off and make her cry. And when this little girl tried to run away, she hid behind me. I don't blame her. That is a terrible parent. And as soon as I thought about that, and the woman took the little girl away from me and made her watch The Nun again, which was the one that was most terrifying for this poor little kid, I thought, oh wait, those were my parents. My parents greatly enjoyed terrifying me with any of the Halloween stuff around when I was very little, and it took me until I was about 12 for me to actually finally like Halloween. I absolutely love Halloween now because I'm an adult and I have gotten past all the stuff that were scary for me back in the day. But for a 2 to maybe 8-year-old child, through that range of ages, there are a lot of things that are scary, and I hate the parents who force them to stand in front of the terrifying, overstimulating, and absolutely loud, bright, flashing lights animatronics. Because some of these kids might not be diagnosed and have some sort of neurodivergency, which makes it way worse to interact with these kind of items. I don't care if it is exposure therapy, it is absolutely cruel. Especially when the mom is laughing the whole time going, "Oh, it's not scary, you're fine," and this little 2-year-old is bawling her eyes out. I wanted to punch this woman in the face and break her nose. Do not do this to your children, I will send gremlins after you. And lastly, the little jewelry section over by the cash register. I raid this area, and you can tell if you watch my earrings organizing video, it probably won't be out before this video, but it will definitely be in my playlist eventually. So I was working on grabbing ones that I didn't already have, or that were to replace ones that were broken. And yet I bought some that were broken. These earrings, because they were broken, I got 20% off. There was no manager in the store, so they couldn't take off more than 20% at the time. I went with it. But, mushrooms. Must have mushrooms. Scissor necklace. Sadly, the scissors do not move. I was really hoping they would, but I thought that could be a cute accessory for my Edward Scissorhands cosplay. Stained glass Batty Bat earrings. Thought they were pretty and thought that they would go with a lot of my purple outfits. Oh, and these ghosty earrings were another statement earring that I purchased at Spirit of Halloween last year. Then I went back to the Freddy Krueger section hoping I could find a shirt. But I didn't really like any of the shirts that were there, so I popped onto Depop afterwards and ordered myself a sweater. Of course, as soon as I stopped recording to have lunch, look at what came in the mail! Freddy Krueger sweater. For Spirit of Halloween, I spent $99. The thing was, I set aside $100 from my savings of lots and lots of dog walking to be able to do this for Spirit of Halloween. I managed to stay just $1 under budget. Woo! Then I popped into Dollar Tree. Didn't find much. I was actually hoping to find a seam ripper because mine's missing, but they didn't have one. Although, I did get these glasses. I'm pretty sure I can get this off with acetone. And I must bedazzle them. So I got shiny mirror tiles to go on my Elvis cape and bodysuit, as well as on the glasses. And I went to another Dollar Tree hoping to find seam rippers. Didn't find seam rippers, but I did find cute fuzzy Halloween socks. Yay. And technically I actually went to Goodwill the day before, so here's Goodwill. Most of the Halloween costumes there were children's sizes, or they were like quinceañera dresses and wedding dresses that were integrated into the Halloween stuff. This odd little clip was taken because I was trying to film all of the knickknacks, and one of the Goodwill employees tried to scooch past, and then she went, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry." And I paused my camera and I said, "No, you're good." And she went, "Oh, YouTuber." I went, "Yep." And she went, "Do you make costumes?" And I said, "Yes." So she squinted at me for a second and went, "I think I've seen a couple of your videos. Cool." And then walked off. So I think this might be the first time outside of maybe conventions that people have recognized me from my videos. The candy corn plushie I was tempted to get, but did not. I did consider getting some of those spooky sunglasses to go with my Elvis costume to make it more Halloween-y for the Halloween season. However, I did put them back. Since I went to Goodwill first, I was trying to be really careful about my budget, knowing that I'd spend most of my money at Spirit of Halloween due to how expensive they are. That little dino onesie. Adorable. These bright fluorescent spooky guys, love them, such queens. So, what did I get at Goodwill? A vintage Sylvester and Tweety Bird tie. It is technically from 2003, so not as vintage as I would have hoped, but it definitely looks like it could be older. Only $5. A lab coat. Nothing super exciting here, it's just that my lab coat is currently missing and I wanted to make sure I had one because I cosplay a lot of characters that have lab coats. I got a basic gray hoodie because it is actually a Venom hoodie. I'm going to cut off one of the sleeves and turn it into a Venom head puppet. Psych! I managed to find this hoodie in my closet, which is a much better color match to the movie. So this one will be the cosplay hoodie and the light gray one will go into my closet. Massive red and black wings. Mostly with Crowley in mind. I know his wings are technically black, but I thought these would be fun because they are a little bit bigger than the black wings I do have for him. And these wings were a massive hassle to get home. The plastic kept ripping, the packaging was not staying together, and I was so afraid that I was going to damage these cheap little wings. But I managed to get them home, and they're still in one piece. And then I got some cute dog toys. This one, because my dog absolutely loves pink. Most of the toys he'll pull out of his toy box are the pink ones, so this is perfect. It's also really thick and plushy, so it's a good face stuffer for when he wants to scream, but needs to be a little quieter. Then, he has a Grogu that he absolutely loves. It's one of the few toys that is not pink that he'll carry around like it's his baby, so I'm hoping he'll like this Grogu too. And also for my Elvis Halloween costume, I got a white and gold belt, and what I was most excited about with my Goodwill shopping trip, I found Elvis boots. These are super similar to a pair of black ones that he has, so extra excited. They are quite a bit scuffed up. However, I can probably get them clean. If I can't, I can always bedazzle them. Why not? It's Elvis. And the shoes were $13. And in total, at Goodwill, I spent $23. Next thrift store. I found something furry I must touch. Oops. There you go, right back up there, you're okay. I totally missed the Goofy hat while I was filming. Oh my gosh, I should have grabbed that. See what I was telling you about the makeup and fake blood? Easier just to grab it at half the price in the thrift store. And this thrift store was actually playing spooky music. Love potion number 9. Thank you. The tiny Maleficent horns. I was tempted, but I already have a pair of Maleficent horns, so I did not. My rule is that I always have to know what I'm going to be using the item for. Also, I live in Colorado, so the Great Wolf Lodge ears are absolutely everywhere in every single thrift store, especially during spooky season. I actually already have a pair of these, and I know you've seen them in videos before. Time to shuffle through the adult costumes, because this thrift store actually had real adult costumes. I really appreciate that they keep the costumes in their packaging, because I know some thrift stores just take them out and then we don't have the label that shows what all should be in there, so that you know what was missing. That Catwoman? Oh, it's the Anne Hathaway one. The one time I have managed to find a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman costume at the thrift store, it was children's size, and it only just barely didn't fit me. I was so upset. Moving on. And all of the freaking wedding dresses that they call costume because they're vintage and not in style anymore. and I found another Spangler costume of crap quality. I was so sad that it wasn't of higher quality because I would have gotten it with it being at the thrift store. That purple velvet dress wasn't too bad quality though. More black PU material that I got super excited thinking it might be Catwoman. I was disappointed. And then I used this clip to show why I often get some of my earrings at Spirit of Halloween instead of the thrift stores. Because sometimes the thrift stores cost the same amount for these crap cheap earrings. I'd rather get them brand new and less grungy and less likely to break on me immediately, because Spirit of Halloween and the thrift store cost about the same in some realms. And now I realize that the footage that I lost was of the styrofoam microphone that was the example for you of why I bought the very solid microphone that was bedazzled from Spirit of Halloween. Because the thrift store one is just a little plastic black tube with a styrofoam ball on top covered in glitter. This is not the microphone that I would want for my EP costume, so I did spend the little extra money to get one that I could use for other characters as well and have it not fall apart at the convention on me. At this thrift store, I found my mom a birthday present. Don't worry, she already knows about it because I needed to make sure it fit her. Otherwise, I was going to wear it and it was just going to be really oversized on me. But it fits her, so she saw nothing, she knows nothing. She'll get it for her birthday eventually. Now this I am not going to be able to fit in frame. It is an absolutely massive red velvet cloak. I got it for 20 bucks, but the main reason I got it was because this is a lot of red velvet, probably about 3 yards worth, for 20 bucks. I was not leaving it at the thrift store. These red gloves I initially got for my Elvis costume, however, this red is really orange compared to the lining I want to use for the cape, so these will just go in my cosplay stash because long red gloves are going to come in handy eventually. Otherwise, I can dye them a little darker. A children's-sized poodle skirt technically will fit me because I am hobbit-sized. I might need to alter it a little bit for my hips, but I'm a cosplayer and I make a lot of my own costumes. Fixing this will be easy enough. Oh my gosh, my eye's itchy. And even though it's a little small, I went ahead and got it because I had a poodle skirt. Technically, it was a record skirt. It was a pink record skirt, but it was way too big for me and I kept trying to alter it and it just never fit me right. So this will be a little easier to alter and make it fit me right. Lastly, from this thrift store, clip-on earrings. I am actually going to turn them into Elvis's rings. I was thinking I was only going to do that with one until my mom had a cool idea of turning them both into rings and having an E on one hand, right, an E in the black here, and a P on the other one. So I have EP, and knock your lights out with a giant metal ring, because these are solid. And at this thrift store, I spent a total of, yeah, that's the right one, $49. Then I tried to go to what is more of a vintage store rather than a thrift store, but even though the sign said they'd be back at 10:30 a.m., it was just past 1 something, and the store was closed and had nothing about their lunch hours. So I'm like, are they out to lunch? What is going on? So here's some stuff in the front window. I really like this place because they usually have themed stuff going on. They'll normally have sections of vintage Star Wars. There was vintage Wizard of Oz stuff in there at the time and you can't see it through the freaking window. It looked so cool. And last time I was there, they had a bunch of Elvis stuff. So hopefully on another thrifting trip, I can actually film this place when they're open. We shall see. Clearly, they did not want my money. Turns out it's taken me so long to edit this video that we actually had my mom's birthday, went out of town for her birthday, and I managed to go to another Spirit of Halloween location and other thrift stores, so I thought I'd add these items to this video as well. Also, my brother and I got sick on that outing, so hopefully you can't tell that my voice is crap right now. At the second Spirit of Halloween, we have a squishy heart. I thought it'd be perfect for Jack the Ripper. Then I found a Spirit of Halloween Wednesday dress that's actually pretty decent quality at a thrift store, and it fits me perfectly. There was also a woman who, when I pulled this off the rack, went, "Is that even gonna fit you?" And she argued with me for a bit, but then I got grouchy and said, "I can make it fit." And she kinda wandered away a bit frightened. She should be. Oh my, that's crinkly. We're gonna put that there. To go with the dress, I got it is a crappy wig, but I have a lot of wefts left over from Captain Jack Sparrow and Edward Scissorhands, so hopefully I can save this thing. Because it was only $5, and I don't have a long enough wig left to make Wednesday's wig. I do want to make a version with bangs anyway, so I can do the Tim Burton, Jenna Ortega one. Oh, my hips just cracked. Ow. This jacket was a very last minute decision. I almost didn't get it. As I was heading towards the register, I was like, oh my god, okay, I can't leave it because I think it will work really well for a humanoid Bumblebee costume. Once I get my EVA foam armor version of him done, I don't really want to wear that all the time, but sometimes I'll still want to be Bumblebee. So I'm taking inspirations from various fan arts, making him look more human. This stain and the logo will get covered up by a Transformers Autobot logo, but my brother also thought it kind of looked like Soul Eater's jacket, so I could probably use that and take it as inspo to do a femme Soul Eater so that the difference in jackets won't be as noticeable, and then I can finally update my really early 20-teens Soul Eater. And finally, there's a lot of pink right here. We have a peach dress. Peach inspired, however, because we have a tag. It is new with tag, and there are a few stains on this thing, so it might have actually been worn, or else they were just dragging it around the thrift store too much and got it stained. Either way, I kept wanting to cosplay Peach, but I wasn't willing to make the dress because I don't really like making ball gowns. It's just so much fabric and really expensive and really hard to thrift all the materials for such a project. So for this one, I am looking to cosplay Peach just for a little bit to have a little fun with it. And then I want to turn it into a lace back because this cheap zipper is really not going to last very long. And I'd like to resell it as a lace back. That way it is also more size accessible. There's the price for you. I'll see if I can't find this online and see what the original price was. And it's not as itchy as I thought it would be. I might add some lining in a couple places where it is itchy because this is a bit itchy. But the lace here isn't as itchy as I expected. Also the fabric for my Elvis costume. Let's get this thing open. This will be the cape lining and then accents on the costume. White neoprene. It's nice and thick. This is for the cape. I do not see my white spandex in this though. So I guess I'm waiting on another package. Where the hell is my jersey knit? I paid a lot of money for my fabrics. The receipt even says the jersey knit is supposed to be in there. What the hell? Just got back from emailing back and forth with the support email person. She was lovely because turns out that handwritten R or whatever that is right there means that this was out of stock. I should have gotten an email saying that my white spandex would not be coming in. But I did not. The last email I got from them was saying, "Yay, it's in your mailbox. Happy, happy, have your fabric." So, because I never got that message and I never actually got the refund, she was very surprised that I hadn't gotten my refund yet. She went ahead and gave me my refund. I now am $12 richer and I can order white spandex for this. Luckily, I have the neoprene, so I can start on the cape even if I can't do the rest of the costume until that white spandex comes in. And this company was completely out of their gold spandex, so got this off of Etsy. And I think this is actually better quality than the other brand. It was also cheaper. I also had to wait about 3 weeks for this to come in. I only waited a week and a half for this to come in the mail. Thank you, Etsy sellers, for actually working in a timely manner. Then some of my mom's birthday presents came in, but also a present for myself. This guy came in huge. I thought he was going to be a regular Barbie size. This guy's massive. He was going to be about 30 bucks and I wasn't going to get him, but then the seller said $13 and I was like, heck yes. Dude is vintage. Can you believe it? I'm so excited. I was a little sad I did nick the plastic when I was doing the scissors because they didn't put enough padding in there for him, but I think he'll be okay. The plastic was already kind of beat up when I got him in the mail. But there's the original price tag, and I'm very happy. And the last thrift store I went to was the secondhand craft store that is local to my area. It's very similar to Remainders. But I did pop in there because I knew she should still have a fabric that I was really wanting, that I initially couldn't remember what the project was, so I didn't buy it when I saw it. Finally remembered when I had gotten home that evening and went, oh, I need that material for this character. So I went back the next day. And luckily, she still had it. This faux pink leather is actually for a jacket that I have been in love with for years because Judy Hoffs wears a pink leather jacket in 21 Jump Street. This isn't quite the same shade of pink as hers, but I like the darker pink for myself. And now I need to find that episode and take a bunch of screenshots of her in that jacket. Otherwise, at the secondhand craft store, I got a bunch of bedazzlies for EP. Stars are perfect. Got some larger rhinestones here. Not a whole lot of them, but I can make use with them. And then this piece is actually a necklace so that I can actually sew these pieces onto the cape instead of gluing everything on. That way I know at least most of my pieces are not going to fall off. I also picked up this little tape measure. So many of my tape measures are too old and crusty or have been snipped a few too many times, so I need another one. And this little guy will be perfect for replacing it, especially since it's one of my favorite colors. And now the wings are shedding all over my backdrop. My mom was nice enough to grab me a seam ripper when she was at a store that actually had one. Thanks, Mom. And finally, the massive surprise from the secondhand craft store was this giant bucket of rhinestones for only $5. I've been finding a lot of these buckets for $20 to $30. This one used to be $16, but I wanted to try to find a bucket of these secondhand because I knew I've seen them around, and I lucked out, got rhinestones for my Elvis cape. I know that I spent $25 at the secondhand craft store. You know, I am always going to pick secondhand compared to the corporate stuff. This is part of the reason why, because sometimes the sellers are really nice and knock the prices down for you. And those are all of my items from this round of spooky season shopping. I hope you will remember those subs, coms, thumbs, and a ding so that you can hang around while I make all of these items into costumes and other fun things. I greatly appreciate you hanging out with me here. Watching all the way to the end of the video is super important, so thank you ever so much. And welcome to the madness. Fluorescent. Mugs. I don't need more mugs. I do not need more mugs. I do not need more mugs. What is this little rope? I don't understand. It's a tail. Definitely gonna have to chop this tag out. Other alterations include making it fit my tiny hand better. This was big on my brother's hands, and he has quite large hands for him being average height. I need to heat form this around my hand, and the packaging here says keep away from fire. I'm gonna break that rule pretty quick to melt some of these pieces, because part of the reason that these don't work great is everything's too thick around the hinges, and I'm going to need to grind, melt, or Dremel these down somehow to give it more mobility. It should work just fine with these lines hitting the tops of my fingers, because That's where my finger ends and it still goes way past. So I'm looking at shortening this, and then I'll have to move this bar again to be at the top of my fingers so that these move properly. I might also shorten them from here instead, because these rivets actually come through to the other side and scrape your hands. It is currently not scraping my hand because my hand is too small for this thing, but once I heat form this part, it will be scraping me, so I definitely need to sand these down from the other side, or else take them out and shorten the fingers from here, which might be the better choice.